What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. I've been coaching Rainbow Six Siege a lot recently, and there's some things I've come across that I've seen as commonalities between lower elo players. These commonalities I'm gonna break down for you guys to help you rank up when Operation Demon Veil hits. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a few tips that you haven't been told yet on YouTube. As a player, as a coach, I watch a lot of Rainbow Six tips videos, and out of all those videos I've seen, I haven't really seen them break down these tips like I'm gonna for y'all today. With all that being said, this video will make you rank up, given you have average gun skill or above. If you don't, you gotta get better gun skill. So if you'd like a gun skill video, drop a comment below, let me know, I'll be happy to make that for y'all. I will go on by saying that this video is not gonna hurt your gameplay, so if you don't have that gun skill yet, you can continue to watch. This isn't gonna hurt anybody's gameplay, it's only can help. All right, so let's get into it. Tip number one, you don't get enough intel. What does that mean? You're not getting enough intel. So you're either face checking without intel, right? So you're getting your intel with your face, which is dangerous. You could die, right? So the intel you get, you're dead. You can't play off. You're face checking the wrong way. You're not droning. This is standard. You've heard this. I don't have to elaborate on this. People have actually mentioned this to you. This is one of those tips that is in every video. Use your damn drone. And you're not using cams, specifically beginning of rounds. So I see this in a lot of low elo, but a lot of lower elos. The beginning of rounds is the best time for you to be on cams. Whether you're anchoring, whether you're roaming, you should be on cams. Why? This is going to tell you, one, where your enemy's coming from, where the opponent's coming from, right? Where they spawned, where they're coming from, where they're going to make a push. But I'm not talking about your inside cams. I'm talking about your outside cams before they get shot. Right? So right as that clock clicks down to like your 3-second mark in prep phase, get on those cams. Right? Even them shooting the cam gives you information. So you use those cams, you figure out where they're pushing from, what kind of push they got going on, flip through them, flip through the outside cams, find information, and then play off of that information, right? I see so many people are roaming, and they're just gonna sit there and hang out until prep phase ends, and then they might get a call, and they might move. No, if you see they're pushing, you're on cafe, right? You're holding bakery, you're roaming in bakery, sights upstairs, and you see they're pushing white stairs, well, you're doing nothing as a roamer. Move yourself, get the white stairs, make a play, give yourself intel. Tip number 2. You're giving out too much intel, or you're out of position of your intel. We touched on that a little bit with the outside cams, but we'll start with if you're out of position, right? So if you're droning, say you're droning the top floor, right? Top floor of a building, and you're all the way outside, you can't play off of that intel. Be close to your drone. The way I drone, I'm not saying I drone perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I drone perfect. The way I drone and a lot of high level players drone is they'll drone clear one area at a time, take that map control, get back on drone, clear another area at a time, take that map control, or they'll have somebody droning for them. I'm talking about for solo here. And move that way. That way you're always ready to play off your drone and play off the intel you get from your drone, right? So that's being out of position. Now, being out of position is a double-edged sword, because you can get swung if you're that close to your drone, right? If the defender, or we're assuming we're on tap or droning, if the defender hears you on drone, hears you get on drone, you can get swung. So you just gotta have a mental note. Maybe you can hear that, maybe you have to fake it or throw your drone, set it to manual, so you have to get on it, you have to hit the button twice to actually get on your drone, throw it, and then wait a couple seconds, see if someone runs out on you, things like that, and then get on your drone. But still be in position to play off of your drone, otherwise you're wasting your drone. And when you're getting intel, you're giving out intel. Be prepared, right? You're giving out intel and you're not prepared for it, or you don't move, you don't reposition. So say you're a defender now, you get droned, and you stand there. You don't reposition yourself, or you reposition yourself poorly. You trap yourself, you don't give yourself exits, things like that. If you're droned, you should assume somebody's near gonna be pushing to take you out, or pushing to make a play off that intel. If you give out intel, assume somebody's gonna make a play on that intel. You'll die a lot less and you'll kill a lot more people. I don't know, can I say that on YouTube? I'm not sure. Next is, if you're spotted or seen by a defender cam, you're not prepared for people to play off that cam, and you don't reposition. So if I'm running around downstairs and I see you, they get an indicator that the cam blinks blue, right? It just blinks blue. You know someone saw you on that cam, so why would you continue the route you're on, right? You gotta adjust, adapt, change your route, and expect someone to push you off of that cam, right? Expect someone to be there. If you're always expecting someone to be around the next corner you're gonna be because you gave out intel, you're gonna die a lot less frequently. And finally, to sum all that up, you're gonna give out intel. It's inevitable. You can't play the game without giving out intel. You can't kill people without giving out intel. You can't get intel without giving out intel. You can't move without giving out intel. Sorry, I hit my mic. You're gonna be giving out intel constantly in the game. Be prepared for people to make a play off of it. How many times have you said or heard somebody say, or someone type it in chat, like, oh my God, why would you swing that? You're such a monkey, or things like that. Like, just the comment on things you swung. Well, they probably had intel. That's why they swung it. They heard you get on drone. They heard you do this. They heard you do that. They seen you do this. They seen you do that. Chalk it up like that's a bad play by them. And don't get me wrong, there are bad swings and good swings. But if they're making a play off of intel, it is never a bad swing. I give this example. It's not realistic, but you have to answer one question. You don't know the answer to. You have to answer one question, though. Get $1 million, right? If you get it wrong, you lose something of value to you. But if you get it right, you get $1 million. You can either take an outright guess at what the answer is, or you can take an educated guess. I don't know about y'all, but I'm taking the educated guess. At least gets me one step closer to getting the right answer, right? Whereas in the game of Siege, most of y'all are just guessing. Yeah, I'm gonna swing this. He might be there. I don't know. I'm gonna run around here. They might be there. I don't know. Get an educated guess. That's all intel is. It's an educated guess. Giving you some education on what you can do. Tip number 3. Number 3. You get intel, but you or your team doesn't play off of it. And we touched this a little bit in the last tip. But I've had so many times I would drone somebody. I'm like, hey, defender's on here. I had one instance. I was duo with Breezy, my boy Breezy. I was duo queuing. We were on Villa, right? And someone was bottom main, just sitting in a corner bottom main. I droned it, and Breezy is on Astro stairs. I have 3 people top main. I said, hey, it was a Thunderbird. I said, hey, this Thunderbird's on ping. Right, bottom main on ping. They didn't do anything. I said, hey, Thunderbird's bottom main on ping. They didn't do anything. And it was an Ace top main. I said, Ace, Thunderbird's bottom main on ping. And he said, okay. Didn't do anything about it. So my boy Breezy, because I've been emphasizing this, if we get intel, play off intel, it's free picks. This Thunderbird was just sitting there for 30 seconds. Sat there in the same corner, did nothing. Finally, Breezy came all the way down from Astro stairs, right? Walked through Piano Hall and killed this Thunderbird. Like, if you're getting intel, easy picks, play off of that intel, man. It's not hard. Tip number 4. You're playing scared, passive, or slow. What do I mean by that? Last 20 to 15 seconds, you're an attacker. You're waiting outside sight, waiting for defenders to swing you. Only if they're good players, they aren't going to swing you. They're holding you out of sight. They have all the advantage in the world. They should not be swinging you. Do some people swing you? Absolutely. Do some people in high rank swing you? Yes. Hopefully they have intel to do it. Some people do play weird. However, this happens so often in low elo. That's why like if it's a 3v1, last 20 seconds, last 25 seconds, that's why a lot of defenders like in gold elo will lose rounds, because they get aggressive. They think they have decent enough gun skill to just shit on this one guy, and they solo swing them instead of playing passive, holding them out of sight, and making them having the push. Right? Play the situation. If you're playing scared, passive, or slow as an attacker because you're used to gold players swinging you, you're never gonna win clutch rounds like that. And vice versa. If you're a defender, bombs down, you're in a 1vx situation, you have a time limit. You've got 45 seconds. You gotta make a move. You gotta make something happen. And more often than not, you will die here, because you should die here. This shouldn't be winnable. But for it to be winnable for you, you gotta make a move. Does that make sense? Because if you're not moving, if you're waiting for them to swing you, waiting for them to do whatever, well, you're never gonna progress towards actually trying to win that 1vx. Ever. Make a move. You gotta make it quick. Act quick, move quick. Tip number 5. You're playing to solo. What does that mean? Even when you're solo queuing, whatever you're doing in the game, you're playing 2 solo. And don't get me wrong, sometimes solo is good. If you're playing solo, you have to be able to win gunfights. And as somebody, I have some inconsistent aim sometimes. Everybody has off days with aim. Your aim gods of Siege, Bolo, has off days with aim. His off days might be better than most people's on days, but he has off days with aim. Everybody has off days. So when you're having those off days, it's important for your consistency to be able to identify. Like, man, my aim's not cracked today. I'm going to play with somebody. I'm going to play with somebody in my back pocket. I'm going to trade out kills, or they're going to trade out my deaths. And I'm not saying bait people. I'm saying trade, or ideally make every fight a 2v1. And it's important to know, is this likely to happen? No. But if you make every fight you take a 2v1, you will never, ever lose a game. Ever. You can't lose. Every fight you take's a 2v1. You can't lose. Is it likely to happen? No. But it's something to think about. If you can do it, make most of your gunfights a 2v1, you're going to improve a lot. You're going to rank up a lot quicker. Number 6. You're not using what the game gives you. What does that mean? Bullets, impacts, any utility you have, etc., etc. Let's start with bullets. You get 100 on average, depending on your gun, attacker, defender, whatever. On average, you get 150 bullets. You don't use them. If you're at a disadvantaged gunfight, right, instead of using your bullets to get yourself out, pre-firing an angle, they might swing, whatever, you turn, you put your back to them sometimes I've seen, and you try to run away and not take the gunfight, or you hold the angle without shooting and not take the gunfight. Like, you gotta think, you might be ready, in your mind you might be, yeah, I'm just gonna hold this angle. If they swing, I'm gonna rotate out. But in your mind, you're not actually expecting them to swing. You've already given up on the gunfight, so you assume the other person has too. Where it's not like that. Whereas if you pre-fire it out, you rotate out, if they do swing, you're at least gonna get chip damage. They might still kill you, you at least get chip damage. Help on your team, they don't have to hit as many shots, or so on. Or it's gonna stop them if you start shooting. How many times have you start, you're here, you start shooting, or someone starts shooting, you go to peek an angle, someone starts shooting. Jesus, that was not English. You go to peek an angle, someone starts shooting, and you're like, oh, whoa, right? You don't want to peek into the bullets. That'll deter someone from swinging you if you're rotating off and shooting at the same time. Pre-firing, use your bullets. Pre-fire angles, right? If you know someone's there, start spraying certain angles they're gonna be at. It'll deter them from peeking you, or they'll peek into your bullets, things like that. And I'm talking about utility, right? Playing off of utility, setting it up, using IQ for your utility. I know this is a classic, don't get me wrong, King George has a divide in the community, but he's plays Cafe on Theme Park the best that I've seen someone play it. He gives himself a bunch of ADSs, he uses his barb as Jaeger, and he plays Cafe. They have one angle they can push from, and it's that doorway. So if you're one guy, but if it's a 1v2, 1v3, 1v4, they really can only push in that door one at a time, right? And you have one angle to watch, they have 10 in that room, because you could be anywhere in that room. They drone you, you move, you can still be anywhere in that room, right? The really only way they can get you out is by nades and stuns. Or flashes. And if you got 3 ADSs there, that's a lot of utility that you're soaking up. But you're gonna get kills off of that utility. Or a Moosey Banshee. Moosey Banshee, it tells you where somebody is, and it slows them down. They can't move as quick. That's a free kill. But people just throw their Banshees down and leave it and go to the other side of the map. Like, what are you putting them down for then? Use your utility for yourself. Get kills off of your utility. It's what it's there for, right? Or mute. I use my mute when I hate if you want to stop the wall from getting blown up, use a band or arcade, right? Unless both of them are banned, then you got to use mute. But mute is not a wall denial operator. I use mute to stop people from droning out an area that I'm holding, right? So if oftentimes I'll hold bakery on Cafe. I'll hold bakery by myself. I'll mute the door. I'll mute small bakery. I'll just throw a bunch of mute jammers so I can't get droned, and then I play in there, right? If they don't know where I am, I know they're gonna push through the door, right? Through the double door. That's playing off of your utility, and that sums it up. That sums up the tips, y'all. I'm really just emphasizing using your intel, using your utility, and I know some people have touched that, but they haven't gone into detail on how you're doing it and what you're doing it with, and I wanted to really emphasize that, and even create many strategies for yourself with the utility and intel you can get. With all that said, thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I taught you something. I hope you guys take this video and achieved your rank goals in Demon Vale. Let me know if you did learn anything. If your rank does improve, I'm a coach. I love hearing the success stories. I love hearing, hey, you really helped me out with this. You really helped me out with that. I didn't know this. Drop it below. It really, really, really shows me support, makes me feel good. I want to help you guys. I love coaching. That's one of my favorite things to do. If it's helping, just let me know. Also, let me know what else you'd like to see on the channel. I'm open to anything. And please show me the support. Hit that like, hit that sub button for me if you really did learn something. Thanks. I'm out.